Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. In this episode I am going to start painting the trolls' weapons. I'm going to do their stone bits first and then pick out the other bits of stone that they've got about their person as well, these kind of stone trinkets around his neck. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm just going to crack on really. I don't actually own a grey at the moment, so I'm just going to be mixing my own with black and white. And, yeah, see how we get on. I do need to replenish my my stock of paints. I've had like quite the painting gap. When was I really painting lots last? 2008, early 2008. I've done some painting in the meantime, but mainly just made do with what paints I've got left and what I can reconstitute, and the occasional new paint. Obviously these are relatively new paints, but these were from a painting set. So yeah, 2008. How long ago is 2008? 2008, 2018, plus what, another 5 years, so it's about 15 years. I think that'll do as a first grey for us. Yeah, so most of my paints, obviously any that aren't in these new pots, are 15 years old. At least 15 years old. So the fact that any of them are still working is great, apart from these, because these pots just last forever. But yeah, there we are. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this as a base layer over all of the grey bits. I'm gonna start with this rock around here actually. Thankfully I haven't painted any of the other bits around it, so it doesn't matter if I'm not the neatest. I prefer to be neat really. Don't like getting paint places it shouldn't be, even when it's on stuff that's not done. But for the most part, I get over it. Right. I don't know if that's too dark. It should be alright. Now I'm undecided how to paint this really. Whether I do proper layers or if I do some dry brushing. Don't know. I mean, rock kind of can look alright dry brushed if you do it right. So maybe we'll have a go at doing it right and see if that's achievable. If there is a right. I'm sure there's a right. I used to dry brush everything when I was a kid. When I discovered dry brushing, I was like, this is amazing. The two life-changing experiences for me as a kid in the painting world was discovering, it was Armor Wash back in the day. It was basically like a black ink. Maybe it was the proto-Nuln oil. But yeah, when I discovered Armor Wash, I just lathered it on everything. So I started with Dark Elves. They were my first army, so I had like the old plastic Dark Elf warriors, the monopose ones, and I didn't really know what I was doing painting wise, but I just used to put a single colour, one layer, one colour on, no undercoats, and that was it. And then I wondered, so like on the box, it'd be like, oh yeah, this is painted in this colour and this is painted in this colour. And then I'd do exactly the same thing. It'd be like, why does mine look rubbish when I've used all exactly the right colours in all the right areas? And theirs looks amazing. Because what it doesn't say on the box is, oh yeah, they've actually highlighted up from this all the way through and put, done a whole bunch of layers and ended up with this. All it says is like, oh yeah, the elf skin is elf flesh. It's like, cool, I'll paint my elf skin elf flesh. Oh, why does it look crap? Why does it not look amazing? But then I discovered Armor Wash, and I just lathered armor wash all over my guys, and I was like, oh, now it does look amazing because now it's got shading everywhere, even though it's just basically a black ink all over the models. But that was fine because suddenly there was like shading on my elves. Even if the shading was black on their faces, it was shading, and they were looking loads better. So I approved. But yeah, so that was one major turning point for me in my painting endeavours, was getting some shading on my models through the use of armor wash. But it was just armor wash. It was armor wash on everything. Armor wash on skin, armor wash on armor wash on cloth. It was literally the entire model got doused in armor wash, and I thought it was great. And then that was the first first technique that I learnt, was the washing. Even if it wasn't really properly a learnt technique, it was just, I don't even know how I came across it. Maybe in a White Dwarf, someone mentioned like using armor wash, and I was like, oh, get me some armor wash, and loved it. And then obviously dry brushing came along. I think that was when I started doing goblins. I discovered dry brushing and just dry brushed everything, their skin. And try, you know what, I've got here we go. Oh. This is from my dry brushing skin era for goblins. It kind of looks all right, but yeah, it's very much the dry brush. Look at that elbow. But yeah, and obviously dry brushed his ball. Well, I think that's basically all worn off now. This is yeah, it's quite an old kit. I didn't even paint this black. I guess I didn't know how to do black back then. Black is a tricky colour to do. It's counterintuitive that you paint your black not black, i.e. by putting white on it. So I can appreciate that. I've done too much talking, not enough painting. My paint's running out, I have to mix it again. Not that it's particularly arduous to mix a grey. But yeah, so, and then skip forward, I don't know, like maybe 10 years? When was Storm of Chaos? About 2005, wasn't it? Not quite 10 years. And that's when I first tried the dry brush and ink combo on Nurgle, and made myself a Nurgle army. And yeah, dry brushed them all. I started, I don't know what colour I started with them first. It was a dark green of some sorts. But yeah, so I just basically did a quite watery dark green layer on all my Nurgle. And then I think I probably dry brushed them like Catachan green, and then camo green. Yeah, it would have been camo green. And then rotting flesh, that's what it was. So that was I dry brushed those 3 layers, and then just put different inks on different models in the army. So I had like 3 or 4 different inks. So I do a guy with brown ink, and another guy with green ink, and another guy with like a yellow ink. Yeah, and that was like a rapidly done army. I painted my Nurgle army well quick, and yeah, loved it, and I still love it. I think it's an awesome looking army. So very, very pleased with that. The ultimate combo, dry brush and washing. I'll have to, maybe at some point, when, I don't know, demons. Yeah, I guess demons are out in the PDF. Maybe at some point I'll make a demon to like add to my demon army. Probably not. I'll probably wait until they do like the Siege of Prague or something. I would guess that they'll do some sort of supplements like they did with Storm of Chaos, and they'll do a Siege of Prague supplement at some point. Which may well include like rules for updated rules for armies. So when they did Storm of Chaos, they brought out, and that was when they did the demon, like complete demon armies. But they also included like Nurgle chariots, which I made a whole bunch of, and Nurgle plague riders, which were essentially a plague bearer on a beast of Nurgle, and made units of those as well. So neither the chariots nor the plague riders actually exist at the moment. I'd love it if they brought them back. I don't know if they will. This was before the guys on giant maggot flies were a thing. So I guess they've probably replaced the cavalry with those. I do have some of those in a box which I have not put together, and I should at some point. Again, probably will wait till then. But yeah, I'd like to get my Nurgle chariots and Nurgle cavalry out again at some point, back on the table. I also have a giant mollusk of Nurgle, which and when I say giant, it's like Greater Demon size. Before Greater Demons were that big. But yeah, I mean, I guess I could use the mollusk as a Greater Demon. Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I should be doing. But I just used to run it as a chariot, because you could have chariots pulled by 2 beasts of Nurgle that were, so the normal chariot base, which, I mean, it's not that big, but it's kind of like, I don't know, that sort of size, but a bit wider, was 2 of them, 2 chariot bases next to each other, because it had 2 beasts of Nurgle and stuff. So it was quite a large base anyway, so I just ran the mollusk is bigger. I was going to say I should do a video on my Nurgle army, but I don't even know what that would look like. Look, here's an army I made ages ago. I don't know, that'd be a bit weird. Maybe I could paint up like my Nurgle fly, you know, those flying things I was talking about. What are they? I actually don't even know what they're called. But the plague bearers riding those giant plague fly things. If I paint those up, then I can like do a bit of a theme video and show you my Nurgle army. That'd be cool. Be fun to get them out and show them off a bit. Right, okay, so that's the first layer of grey done. I am tempted to try dry brushing. Yeah, we do a dry brush layer. Alright, fine, let's do a dry brush layer. Now we need to mix ourselves a grey that's not watery. I don't know how I feel about this. I've not done dry brushing in a long time. I normally just paint, but I don't know. I feel like it could work. Well, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, I'll just paint over it. Right, let's see, what kind of colour do we want for this? That's not light enough. I kind of want to go quite light, but it's going to have to be like a really dry brush to not look naff. Before I dry brush those, I'm just going to put some, these don't need to be dry brushed, I don't think. Just the heads of the weapons I'm going to try the dry brushing on. It's very dangerous having this guy underneath him in case I drop this one on top of him. Yeah, I still need to do that video on how to pin. I did fish a guy out that needs pinning. I was looking around trying to work out who I've got that needs pinning, but I found where is he? Odgit, the classic goblin shaman from Idol of Gork, has got this hand that needs attaching. It definitely needs pinning because it will fall apart otherwise. So I'll do a video showing how to pin this guy together, pin his hand on. But yeah, there we are. We'll do that in the not too distant future. Maybe, yeah, maybe when I start on my 1,000 points. So all I've got left, my my goblin army, is basically my 500 point goblin army is that unit of spearmen there, that unit of archers there, these 3 fanatics, and that shaman, and then these guys. So that's 500 points. So to make it 1,000 points, I'm going to include Grincrack's unit. So I need to paint up his command group and his netters. But he's got a shed load of archers. But I will need another character in order to take that unit of archers. So that's where he'll probably come in. I'll paint this guy up, I guess, as my shaman. Oh, I do have this one. I quite like the idea of having this guy painted up. I do already have a painted Oddkit, but it is old, back in my, yeah, I painted it when I was a kid. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll probably do it. I do like the Oddkit model, it's very nice. Anyway, sidetracked from my dry brushing. Now my paint's starting to dry, well, which is, no, the paint doesn't need to be dry. The paint on the brush needs to be dry. Right, let me wash my brush. There's way too much paint on. Get some tissue. Dry my brush off. So it's actually dry. Okay, get some paint on it. And then dry that paint off. Now I don't know how this is going to look. Let's do this one. So let's do this one first. This one's a bit drier. Did I? Oh, I didn't even paint this. Oh, that's annoying. Never mind. Right. Let's do this. Yeah, I think that's probably going to look quite good, you know. That's good. Feels like it was the right move. Because I was worried I was going to regret this. But that's looking good. Yeah, because, I don't know, something about rocks, kind of dry brushing, feels alright on rocks. Oops, that was not a dry bit in the middle. There we go, so that's looking okay. I think there's a little bit of water left in the base of this brush. But there we are. Right, let's dry this off again. To the other side. I need to try and not get it on his hand. That would be less than ideal. Oh, there's a massive mould line of mist all across the back of his stone. Look at that. How did I miss that? Well, never mind. Just pretend it was... I don't know, you can't pretend anything. It's definitely a mould line. Not even pretending not to be a mould line. Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, that looks alright as a first layer. Right, have we got, how much paint have we got left? I'm running out of paint, so it's too much time talking about Oddkit and pinning him. Right, let's quickly see if we can do this before the paint dries. I'm going to have to mix another batch in a sec. I do like dry brushing. I'd forgotten that I liked dry brushing. Spent too much time layering everything. The dry brushing is good. I probably really should have dry brushed the scales, but they came out so nice. They did come out nice. But it would have been done so much quicker. like hours quicker. But I don't know. I've got 4 more of these trolls to do. It's got each of the poses. And at the moment I am just planning on doing all their scales, same way I did these guys. That's the current plan. Unless I can find any easier way to do it that looks just as good. I don't know if that exists. I don't know that it doesn't exist, but I don't know if it does. So, right, just going to mix up a little bit more so I can paint the bit on Dwayne, because I didn't do his dangly bit, second layer. Needs a bit more water. Can't remember where I put that now. Yeah, it's probably too much water because the tiniest little notch of paint. Never mind. Right, there we go. Yeah, I was way too stingy on that paint. Literally could just be starting some more, but I just can't be bothered to get it out. It's sad, isn't it? Like, it probably takes far more effort trying to reconstitute what's on my palette than it does just to open both the paints and get some new paint out. There we go. That is what I've done now. Right, great. That's that stone. Okay, let's do another layer. What brush is this? This is not the dry brush, which is fine. Dry brush layer there. Okay, so we are doing a dry brush layer. Next dry brush layer, so we need to go a bit lighter. I don't know if that's actually any lighter. Makes too much black in. It's a bit lighter, it's not much lighter. For dry brushes, you can afford to go quite a lot lighter at each stage, but never mind, we'll just use this one and see how that goes. Okay, next layer up. Let's see what we got. Now really, this should be quite a lot drier than the last layer. But we'll see, I'm not sure I particularly want to dry it off too much. Oh, that's nice, that is good. It's a nice colour anyway. Yeah, looking good, I think. Not sure my brush is strictly dry enough. There we go. It's a fine balance when dry brushing between having enough on your brush to actually see anything and having too much where you just get mega streaks. Particularly if your brush has got some water like trapped at the base of it that works its way out. Looking alright. I feel like I need another layer, but I need to be careful with it. I might dry brush this as well now. Don't know if I should be dry brushing it, but it's getting dry brushed. Right, there we go. Let's do this one. Feeling like this layer's not doing a huge amount. It probably wasn't light enough, but I did mention that earlier. So I feel like I'm let off. So I called it. That's how it works, right? It looks a lot more stark on this, on the camera, than it does in real life. But yeah, a little bit deeper with that brushing. Yeah, on the camera, at least right now on the camera, it looks very, like, quite a contrast, and it doesn't look quite like that in real life. Yeah, this one looks a lot worse than this one, I think, to the camera's eye anyway. Right, let's do a bit of actual highlighting on these. These are not as forgiving with the harsh change in colour. Looks like no change. Don't really know what I'm doing here. Just making it look worse, I think. Yeah, doesn't look particularly good. Not sure what to do about that. I'll just join that together. There we go. Yeah, I don't like how that came out. Let's try and do just a highlight bit around here. That'll do. That looks a bit better. Should have stuck to dry brushing. Alright, that's that one. This guy's only got a one on the back, which I think I already did actually. I dry brushed it. I don't know. Right, there we go. Okay, let's go up another layer. I don't know, maybe we'll chuck some null oil on it or something. So that makes it look a little bit better. Can I do some strategic dry brushing with this layer? Shall find out. My intention is to just catch, I don't know, if I'm worried it's not going to be dry enough now. Catch in the most prominent areas. Yeah, so that looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, that looks alright, maybe. Yeah, probably be too busy looking at his blue skin to notice if his axe looks a bit naff. Yeah, like I say, it looks a bit better in real life than it does on camera. So that gives me a little bit of solace. It can look a little bit naff on camera as long as it looks good in real life. So that's okay. And you don't know if I'm telling the truth either way, so that's got to be a win-win, right? Okay. My brush is dirty, it's not coming off. Right. Yeah, I might. Right. Okay. Well. Do I put some Null oil on? I have got the Null oil. Alright, let's try a little bit of Null oil. See what difference this makes. If it makes any difference. I have not really used Null oil yet. Ever. So, when I hear people like, well, I've seen lots of people cursing that they've spilt their Null oil. And I don't know, it seems like it might be used like I used Armor Wash by people. Right, I don't know, I'm not sure what to expect when I put this on, because like I say, I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to Null oil. Not had any experience with it at all. I kind of want to take down, I don't know, what do I want to do with this? I don't really know, but I'm putting it on. Just going to see what happens. What I really think I'm doing is I'm painting in the areas. I don't know why, it just feels like the right thing to do, and I'm doing it. I don't know, is that good? It looks alright, maybe. I don't know, I've started, we'll just do it on this guy and then see where we end up. It's an experiment, isn't it? Almost looks like I've made the contrast too much. Yeah, maybe that's too much of a contrast. Maybe I should just do it all over. I don't know, I'll finish what I'm doing and then make a judgment call. See if I do it everywhere instead of just in the low areas. Yeah, I think what I'm doing right now is just accentuating the contrast between the light areas and the inner areas, and I'm not sure that's really what I wanted to do. But there we go. The only way you find out stuff is by practicing it. Well, I don't know if that's true actually. You can just watch someone who knows what they're doing and then copy them. Yeah, if you're hoping to watch someone who knows what they're doing, you are in the wrong place. I mean, that's not strictly true. I do know some stuff. These trolls look pretty good, so I must know some stuff. Okay, so how does that look? Does that look alright? Maybe it looks alright. I'm just worried it's too much of a contrast between these raised areas and the not so raised areas. But maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. We'll let it dry and see how it goes. Let's chuck some on these as well, because I wasn't particularly impressed by how I painted these. So maybe that'll make that look a little bit better. Yeah, I really didn't like how that came out. I don't know if it looks better or not. That one looks better actually. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing. Okay, that's that one. Yeah, I think that kind of looks alright. Let's see this one. See, this axe actually is a lot better. So I might not do anything with this one. I kind of like that one how it is. Let's put some oil on this though. Might help that make it look a little better. Alright, let's do that. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to leave their stones like that. I think they look alright. We've got two slightly different techniques. This one's got the gnarl oil, this one doesn't. I think the thing that looks a bit off on this is the cracks should have a highlight along them. Maybe I'll just quickly chuck a highlight on them. I said highlight and then just whacked loads of black in it. Definitely needed less black. I've got enough black on my brush just to do it without mixing any more in, probably. Yeah, it's about right. Right, so what I want to do, same up here maybe, is I kind of want to put a highlight next to this dip. It's gone dry on my brush. Yeah, that makes that look loads better, I think. So you can see I'm just doing next to the black. I've probably done the wrong side on that one, but never mind, I've done it anyway. I've done that highlight layer. It suddenly makes it look loads better. So that one I went inside the black, so that was rubbish. Never mind. What do we want to do here? There we go. Yeah, that makes it look loads better. It's subtle, like a tiny, tiny little bit, but it actually made the difference. Well, I did get it in that gap, and that annoyed me. So I'm just trying to see if I can feed a little bit of gnarl oil to get rid of it. Don't know if I'll... But yeah, there we go. I think that actually made that look loads better in the middle. Kind of tempted to see if I can put some up here as well, because there was some kind of cracking. Can't really see it now in my... Can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's probably a fruitless task. Yeah, there we are. Right, that was this side, I think, is what I was looking for. Where there's this like crack here that I just chucked gnarl oil on. Got rid of any highlights around it. That'll do. Okay, cool. Oh, no, there's another one there. Oh, no. But I'm out of light paint. I don't want to mix anymore. This crack here, let's just do down the side. That was probably the wrong side. It should have been the other side. Never mind. There we go. That gives it, makes it look a little bit better. Right, yeah, there we go. I'm happy with that. That'll do. Very good. Okay, cool. There we are. That's the stone done. Next, I will I'll probably do their metal in the next video. But yeah, that'll do for now. Alright, hopefully that was helpful, and thanks for watching.